Welcome friends, this is Vishal Basim and this is our another video in the segment of object-oriented programming. So friends, today I am going to discuss things regarding constructor destructor and maybe a little bit introduction regarding the scope resolution operator. So let's start. Okay, first we write simple PHP and then we go for writing our topics constructor, destructor and scope resolution operator. I'll just give you the introduction. In the next video I'll be explaining all about the scope resolution operator. So first is the class is there. So we take a class name. Let's take class name relatives. Okay, relatives are very good at giving heartburn, or if we have any relation, we have some goods and bads. So we write here always good at giving heartburn and have good amount of jealousy. Obviously, these two things are always there. As my experience will say, maybe bad experiences. So we define another thing called function, or I must call full-fledged function here. If we write function, so we write a function name like good relatives. Good relatives like I am. So I need to praise myself always. What do? They don't speak out unnecessarily and always being helpful without any hurt to themselves. So till you are not hurted, go to any extent to let anybody up. So we define another class. This class may be of, we can say, another good thing is neighbors, and neighbor extends relatives, and neighbors construct is echo, always meddling into your affairs, into your personal affairs, and keep check on, in, out of your house. They don't care about their house, but your house very much care. Function, we say good relatives, good neighbors like I am. Again, I need to praise myself. And then we can say echo, remain in house and work hard and keep track on oneself, or we can say keep improving oneself. So it is something like that. Now we have object underscore supposedly relatives. So we will see how the constructor function goes. This is new, and we say relatives. Here we go. Okay. So I'm calling first class relatives and see what happens. it runs the constructor function. I have written always good at giving hard ones and jellies. So we run a constructor function here, and I again give the declaration or instantiation to the other class. So what we see here, if I start another class, it again runs its constructor function, always meddling into your personal affairs and all these things. So what if we delete this constructor function or comment the constructor function? Again, first this class runs its constructor function, this runs, and because it is a child class, so it inherits the constructor function of this and it runs its constructor function. So doubly the same constructor function is being run. So if I switch on this constructor function and comment this constructor function and see what happens. Okay, so it means that if we have a constructor function defined by the child class, or it has nothing, or it has something, it will override the constructor function of the parent class. And if we want to call the parent class constructor function, we can simply say write parent scope resolution operator and underscore construct and see what happens. It will again give you the same line. Yes, it is giving us the same line like this. Now let's do the same thing for the destructor function. So I will again change this thing to destruct. Okay, and see what happens if I have only first class instantiated, and see what happens. So it runs first constructor function, always good at giving hard ones, and then destructor function, don't speak unnecessarily, all using hard ones. Okay, and if I start up with the second class and no destructor function is being declared here, there is no destructor function here. Okay, so we may check it out what happens. Okay, there is because the construct function is calling this function, or we can just okay, what happens is we have first constructor line, we have another constructor line, we have then destructor line, we have then another destructor line. So no construct function is here, no destruct function is here, but both construct and destruct function are being called from or being inherited from relatives are shown here. Okay, what happens is first it gives this construct function, then this construct function runs. This destruct function doesn't run. The obvious reason is being if we destruct anything which is being in the construct function or in any other method, then that function or and that thing will not be entertained in the neighbors here. So it runs once run the construct, then runs the construct of the child class, then destruct of the child class. So this is happening here. So if I just copy and give construct here, public is not necessary in the destruct because it is always being. So it is we can see that both the constructor function is being run here, or we can remove here parent construct. Likewise, parent construct we can refer parent destruct here. So we see that first line is being called here, always good at giving hard ones, then construct function always meddling into your affairs and keep track on oneself, then the don't speak unnecessarily, always being helpful, or then the destruct function of neighbors must be called here, or we can delete this. So there is destruct function, it is being called here. One, always meddling here, and we can just write a break tag so you can see exactly what is happening. And we can take one break tag here also. Okay, so first constructor function is here, this one, first parent class constructor function because we are instantiating this first, then constructor function of the child class because we are instantiating this again, then the destruct function of the child class is being called first, that remaining house, and then child class, parents class, destruct function is being called. So guys, keep track on these things, that how the construct functions behave, because these construct functions are very important in the MVCs of Laravel or Code Igniter, in which the construct function has the sessions or session objects. We always use those construct function or inherit parent construct. So I have given you the example of inheriting from the parent or declaring own construct function, or without inheriting, the construct function will always run. Thank you.